In case you've missed, we had some pretty intense action during the Olympic qualifiers. Giorgio Mangano managed to pull off an amazing feat and denied Valerio Gallo, the previous winner of this event, from securing a top spot on the leaderboards. That was somewhat unexpected, and it's only making the anticipation for the upcoming races in Singapore even greater. But not only that, Kylian Drummond made an impressive last-minute surge that landed him a spot in the Olympic Esports Week. This just goes to show how deep the talent pool in Gran Turismo is at this moment and how unpredictable these time trials can be. Just to point out, only one representative from each liable country had the right to represent their country at the Olympic Esports Week in Singapore. Now, I'd like to share my personal experience with this time trial, and I can tell you that it was pretty amazing. I recently did a lap myself and compared it to Mangano's winning lap. My lap in the end was a 1:15.065, while Mangano's was a 1:14.746. So let's dive into the details of both laps and see where the differences are, which will help us understand how Mangano managed to achieve such an impressive result. But before we do that, I really wanted to show you the struggle I had for the last 10 days to achieve such a time. So during my lap, I focused on maintaining a steady pace and hitting the apexes just about right. However, I noticed there was just a couple of areas where I just couldn't improve. So for example, in some turns I was just a bit too cautious, maybe even too much to begin with, which might have cost me some time. I could have been more aggressive when accelerating out of the corners, which would have helped me to shave off a few milliseconds. So the car was definitely one of the most unpredictable cars that I've driven in a while. So to achieve such a time, I really had to dive deep into the lap and make the most out of every single corner. So now, let's take a look at Mangano's lap, which really stood out what his ability and consistently hitting the perfect racing line and maintaining a higher average speed throughout the lap. He seems kind of incredible when tackling the tight turns, carrying more speed into them and exiting with even, I would say, incredible momentum. So furthermore, his smooth but aggressive exits made a difference in the end. So by analyzing the differences between my lap and Mangano's lap, I kind of started to realize that I needed to work on my cornering and my throttle control. And that's what I did. I tried to do it for the last 10 days and in the end, the result is here. And now we are analyzing the lap time between me and Mangano. So I'm on the left side and Mangano's laps is on the right side. And it's quite obvious that differences are here. I mean, he's using different lines. He's probably using a little bit of different throttle control in the end. I just wanted to mention that. But as you can see, he's using a lot more curb. I just couldn't do it. I mean, when I rode the curb like that, I just couldn't get the exit speed done right. So the difference is pretty much obvious in this one. So the exit line, pretty much exit speed, and the throttle control on the way out. And what really sums it out, it's the speed on the way out of the corner. He was probably averaging at about 188. I was mostly in kind of 184, 185 whenever I try to do it properly. So even with this line, he's really attacking the apex and using the apex to rotate the car even more, so he can kind of get the better line onto this curb and just kind of prepare himself for the later part of this whole section. Once again, a wider line, and he's also kind of harder on the brakes for a very short while I'm kind of consistent but still holding onto the brakes a little bit longer, which is causing a bit more understeer. And in the end, the difference is here again, 4 kilometers per hour. And this is, I think, what really stopped me from kind of breaking throttle control and kind of a wider line on the entry. I'm kind of trying to kind of focus more on the way out instead of focusing on the way in. I really tried to work it both ways, but just trying to get the same line didn't work out for me. And once again, he's a little bit quicker in this section. Although it's not a very big difference, but throughout the lap, I mean, it was a pretty obvious one. And as you probably noticed in the end, it was quite a marginal difference in between the top 10, literally a tenth and a half. So here, just kind of trying to get onto the speed as soon as I can, but I actually got this one pretty good. So trail braking, releasing the brakes, and then I was pretty much coasting for most of the apex and then hitting the power, and I really tried to kind of get on the power soon but not lose control of the car, which was pretty much crucial in this point. So it was kind of the same, but he somehow got more speed out of the turn. And he was also able to carry all of this speed down the straight, which in the end really made a difference. As you can see, it was just about 2/10 of difference. So now into the last corner, which is probably the crucial one on this track. And I mean, 2/10 was kind of okay for me. I would be kind of okay with the 2/10 of a gap. But here, he's actually less braking in this turn. I just tried to do it, but I couldn't make the turn with less braking. And also have a look at the power. He's holding it at about 90%, and actually with this he's getting more speed on the way out just because he got on the power earlier, and that 90% really meant that he wouldn't spin out at that point. So the cornering should have been perfect. Everything should have been perfect to actually get this one done in this way. And the difference is quite obvious in the end. My lap of 1:15.065 versus his 1:14.746, which is kind of a big difference over only one lap in Group 1. And in the end, I'm proud to say that I managed to finish 42nd in the world out of over 160,000 competitors. This just goes to show you, by studying the techniques of the top drivers, we can all learn and improve our own skills on the track. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed in this one, and if you did, you can even hit the like button, or you can even subscribe for, more videos like this. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.